Hi, this is Attorney Doug Jones with the Elder Law Practice. Thanks for tuning into our podcast today. Today we're going to be talking about how to pay for a nursing home stay, and specifically we're going to be talking about how to qualify for Medicaid that will pay for the long-term care for your loved one in a nursing home. When your loved one declines and needs care, a lot of times the journey starts in a hospital. If they stay at least 3 days, 3 midnights in a hospital, if they're admitted to the hospital, well then they may qualify for Medicare to pay for up to 100 days in a nursing home for rehabilitative care. Up to 100 days, not necessarily 100 days. They may not get 100 days, but up to 100 days of care in a nursing home. After that, then what? Well, unfortunately, private pay kicks in, and that's when you're just writing a check every month. And unfortunately, many people pay privately way too long. They pay out of their pocket way longer than they should. We see cases almost every week where people have paid until they're broke, and that doesn't have to happen. There's programs set in place to protect a certain amount of assets, especially for the benefit of the spouse at home. So I want to talk just briefly about Medicaid qualification. This is going to be a very short presentation, so certainly this is not going to be extensive, but it'll kind of give you an idea. There's certain assets that are exempt and certain assets are countable or have to be spent down before you can qualify for Medicaid. The exempt assets are your home, not property out in the country or rent house, but your home you live in, one vehicle, prepaid burial contract, and personal assets inside your home. And there's exemptions and caveats associated with each of those, but just in general, those assets are exempt. You can just set them aside. The assets that are countable that have to be spent down before you could qualify for Medicaid assistance to pay for a long-term care stay is anything else you've got. So if grandpa is got $100,000 in his checking account or a CD and grandma's already deceased, the Medicaid rules say grandpa would have to spend down to $2,000 before he could qualify for Medicaid assistance to pay for his long-term care stay. But we can normally do much better than that. We can normally protect and preserve a substantial amount of those assets that would otherwise have had to have been spent down rather than just spending them all down. We see even people spend some of the exempt assets that could have easily have been protected just because they didn't know, just because nobody told them. If you're married and there's a well spouse at home and the sick spouse goes to the nursing home, big chunk of the assets can be preserved for the benefit of the one at home. Medicaid regulations say the countable assets have to be divided, but again, we can normally do better than that with some proper planning in many situations. So if you're watching this today and you have a loved one either in a nursing home now, even if they're in a nursing home now and still have money, it's not too late. Just don't spend it all down thinking that that's the way it has to be. A lot of times, many of those assets can be protected. So if you have a loved one in a nursing home now, or if they're going there very soon, call an elder law attorney, hopefully us. If you're in our area, our phone number is 501-843-9014. Just give us a call, and the first consultation is free. We'll see if we can help. If you would like to get some information prior to meeting with us, go to our website at arcelderlaw.com. On the home page, there is a guidebook that you can download for free, Medicaid Division of Assets. And it's a guidebook where you can it'll walk you through a little scenario of a fictional couple and talk about what they did and how they preserved some assets. And then it'll have a worksheet where it'll say, now it's your turn, and you can fill that out and you can see how you can protect some assets for the benefit of your loved one and see whether this type of planning would be beneficial for you. But please get some information, do some research before you just spend it all down, because once it's gone, and a lot of times there's problems even after you're broke and have spent the money down, you still can't get Medicaid because there have been prior transfers or there's other issues that have to be resolved, and then that is a problem. So while there's a little bit of money left, it's very important to do some planning to preserve what you can and to resolve any issues that would keep your loved one from even getting Medicaid to pay for their long-term care. Well, I hope this snippet was helpful today. Please go below and enter your comments or questions. And please go to our website. If you're not already there, go to the home page and download that guidebook. I think that'll be beneficial to you. This is Attorney Doug Jones. Thanks for watching today. Have a great week.